What truly is politics at its core? Politics is not blood or battle. It is the contest of ideas, a marketplace where visions compete, where those who wish to lead are measured by those they seek to serve. But when politics begins to trade in death, when grief becomes a weapon and tragedy a talking point, then we have drifted far from the light of humanity. On the morning of October 15th, 2025, just as the first rays of dawn touched the skyline of Nairobi, the nation froze. The news broke like a thunderclap. Raila Amolo Odinga is dead. A silence fell, then came the tears, the disbelief, the haunting stillness of a country in mourning. Flags sagged at half-mast. Condolences poured in for Mama Ida and the family. And as always happens when a giant falls, whispers flooded the air. Some claimed he was poisoned. Others insisted he had died earlier, secretly in a Nairobi hospital, and that the story of his passing abroad was staged. Fingers pointed in every direction, at political rivals, at doctors, even at fate itself. But amid the noise, one truth stood out: no man, no matter his power or purpose, knows the hour when his story ends. We are all travelers heading, inevitably, toward dust. So let us set aside the speculation and trace the final path of the man himself, Raila Amolo Odinga, a name written deep into the nation's political DNA. Many insist his death was unnatural, yet the evidence suggests otherwise. For months, Raila's health had been deteriorating quietly. Hidden from public view, in politics, weakness is not met with sympathy. It is exploited, so he concealed his struggle, smiled through the pain, and pushed forward when rest was long overdue. The public saw fire and vigor. Behind closed doors, fatigue and frailty. His body whispered what his will refused to hear: "I am tired." The signs began years earlier. After the grueling 2017 election, a piece of his strength never returned. By 2020, during the global pandemic, his condition worsened. A minor surgery in Dubai was said to fix it, but it marked the beginning of deeper trouble. He kept working, launching the BBI campaign, touring the country endlessly, driven by conviction but drained by illness. To his critics, his moments of drowsiness became jokes. To doctors, they were red flags, the mind shutting down to preserve what little energy remained. By 2022, his body lagged behind his spirit. The man who once dominated 3 rallies a day now struggled to finish one. Private aides whispered of his trembling hands, his labored steps, his need for support when no cameras watched. September 2025 brought the final decline. After he withdrew from sight, on September 25th, he quietly flew to Malindi to see doctors. They advised urgent treatment abroad. India was chosen for its cardiac expertise. Days later, President William Ruto visited him in Karen, their last dinner together. Raila was flown to southern India. Doctors fought for him. By October 10th, he was smiling again, joking, eating, asking about home. The family rejoiced the storm had passed. But death often gives the dying a moment of peace before it arrives. That night, he wrote his will, asking to be buried within 72 hours of his death, a request that unsettled those closest to him. Then, on the morning of October 15th, while taking a short walk, his body finally gave way. His aide caught him before he fell. Paramedics tried everything: CPR, defibrillation, prayer, but the man who had survived prison, torture, and betrayal could not survive his own heart. There was no poison, no conspiracy, only a body that had carried too much for too long. And so ended the journey of a man who fought not for himself, but for an idea, a freer, fairer Kenya. The king is gone, but the crown, the dream, the defiance, the courage endures. The king is dead. Long live the king.